Carmen Montes with NTV. This question starts with Kathy Duval.
With all the diversity in Hastings, do you feel a need to make the city more inclusive? If so, how?
Absolutely, I do, and thank you for bringing that up. We have just started, Hastings was selected by an organization called Rural Futures, who's looking at how we can become more inclusive, and are we an inclusive community. Questionnaire went out, 1,100, a sampling went out of 1,100 questionnaires, both in Spanish and in English. Those have just started to come back. That group is comprised of Hastings Public Schools, city employees, the YMCA, the YWCA, Head Start, and a variety of churches and other organizations. We are starting to look at how we can become a more inclusive community. We used to have a Hispanic population that only made up about 2.5%, a little bit higher. That was in 1990. Now that we are up to almost 11%. So although we are not changing number-wise in our total population, we are with our Latino, and so we must address what the face of Hastings is looking like. The face of Hastings is changing.
Emilio.
Of course, we need more representation, especially in the city council. If I was going to choose, if I have a choice, I would say, we should have a district in representation in the city council that would represented the Latino. Yes, we are growing. We are right now, I believe, over 8%, we are going to be present. We are going to be present, and we are going to, we are a community. We want to be a part. We are a part. I don't like to use the Latino or anything, because I do consider an American, and only American. Stop the divisions, stop the division about race, color, anything else. It doesn't count. We should be a community, and we should practice what the community means. Integration, inclusive, everything. Thank you.
Butch.
I think probably the first step for diversity is to go back to the mindset that our forefathers had for this community, because virtually nobody knew anybody. And they put together quite a community, quite a college. And I think we need to break down these barriers, like my say is more important than yours, is going to go do wonders to break down diversity. And fortunately now we have a new police chief, which has really helped a lot in treating of all people the same. But I think we just need to restore our roots and start treating our neighbors like neighbors.
Michael.
Obviously, any organization, city included, can do more to include input and advice from all their constituents, and I think we can continue to do that. We have to continue to do that. And I think it starts by engaging those populations. I think it happened with our young professionals here in town. I think we got lucky because we had a few of them that were engaged in the community, that knew the ins and outs, and they took it upon themselves to engage those young professionals and get a voice out there, and they did that. They were successful. And I think that can happen across the board with minorities and other populations. But it's really just about going out and engaging. I mean, we welcome everybody. We welcome everybody's input. There's a thought process out there that we're closed off to other people, that we don't want other input. I've never turned down a phone call, and I've never not replied to an email for somebody to give their feedback to me. And it's there. The opportunity is there if people just take advantage of it and get involved in their community. So we need to engage all populations, get their input, and make them a part of the process.
Corey.
In 2020, we're going to have a Hispanic population of approximately 11%. We're seeing diversity changing every day. We see a diverse population in terms of economic stability. Hastings Public Schools has over 60% free and reduced lunch. We have a very diverse community. I grew up here and it was much more homogenous than it is today. So you kind of see a widening of the gap from as far as wages and all that sort of stuff. We need to be more open to talking to people. We need to be more open to communicating with them and asking for input. People are just looking to be asked to participate. I really think that if we can become more inclusive as a community, we're going to see many more great outcomes. We've seen several things that happen in our community over the past several years where we maybe haven't involved people. So inclusiveness is very important in Hastings. I think that we need to work together, and if we can work together, we can move Hastings forward.
Would anyone like the option for 30 seconds? I see one hand raised. Kathy?
Yeah, I would, because I just want to share again that we are finally opening our eyes up. It is almost as if our community has had two different populations, and we are finally realizing that that other population is not invisible. They are vital to making this community the great community that it is. If I was elected mayor, I would not just have studies. We have already started the studies, we're gathering the data, but I think it's time to find ways to put or to ask people to be on committees, serve on boards, and have them really be an integral part of having a voice in our community.
Kathy, thank you.